Well, welcome to my next video. It's been a bit of a while, but anyway. Lately, I've had a bit of an interest with these batteries, lithium ion in particular. These little bits of paper here are covers, and just a quick explanation why they are important. On a battery, you have positive and a negative side. Now, the negative side branches from here, goes all the way up and pretty much crosses up over here. So if it's exposed or it's shorted out, these things tend to go critical, is probably a good word. Yes, I'll stick with critical. So my YouTube watching, my bit of reading, I decided instead of going out and using these El Cheapo chargers, for instance, I picked this thing up locally for $20 from a camera store that was closing up shop. I found a store called Battery World that's selling these things for $60. Just offhand, good idea to buy, but if you really want to get into serious, or you want to skip past the this kind of method, probably not the best thing. Nice out of the box here. So the original price in the store was $49.95. This store was unfortunately closed. But what really caught my eye was the fact that it could charge the two different types of lithium batteries, and also the NiCad lithium, which NiCad lithium are your standard AA and AAA rechargeable batteries. I believe you can also get 9-volt ones, but I've never really seen them. So these came out of a laptop. They're not your cheap Chinese order off eBay or AliExpress or wherever. Now, what I believe really got me set off was when I did a video on this, and slowly doing my research. So sorry, these are like spacers to prevent this from accidentally shorting out. I'm gonna have to try to locate some of these myself. Anyway, I found that a lot of people on YouTube, online, a lot of hobbyists are using, well, the ones that can invest, are using a type of charger which I thought was rather interesting, which allows you to discharge and also test to see what the rating of these batteries are. So if it's 1,000 milliamp hours or 2,000 milliamp hours, something like that. Very useful to know. And I've been umming and ahhing about this for a few months. I saved the money up to buy myself a hard drive for a computer that I've been building, and instead of buying the hard drive, I decided to buy this charger that I'm going to be doing an unboxing and first impression. So before I go any further, just so everybody's clear about my method, I picked this up from a local electronics supplier, and I paid for this, so this wasn't actually given to me. But this is a little battery holder. Now, I've seen a lot of people online with this same sort of device using magnets, or I like this idea, to be honest. Now, granted that it will be a small amount of resistance because of these wires, but I'm not interested. What I like about it is that you can just simply plug it in and it's in. It's secure. In fact, I'm doing a little build up for this. It's basically a sheet of perspex with a bunch of these screwed in. If you look closely, or if you can you see in here? There's up little screw holes. Now, I do have the screws that you can put into this, put into here without them touching the top, but out of precaution, I might try to get some of the liquid electrical tape. Anyway, so this is the whole sort of battery thing. So yeah, recycled batteries. What fun. Anywho. Rats. There. So, Hobby Warehouse, I believe it's called. It's a store on the mainland of Australia. I'm in Tasmania, so refer to anywhere that's not on the state on the mainland. And I ordered the charger from them. Now, they do list it online as being legitimate. And no, if anyone's wondering, this is not for free, I paid for this, blah, blah, blah. And this is the box they sent it in. So for me, this is probably a little bit big, but at least they're trying. And by rocking it around, it feels like that it might be properly set up. So now I'm going to open this, and I realize that I don't have anything to open it with right now. So, oh, great example. I can use a pen. Not what I wanted. Open there, down through here. Should probably have a knife for this, but whatever. Okay, so they didn't wrap it up. What they have done, however, is use some of these deflated airbag things. Honestly, I would have wrapped this thing up in bubble wrap and then shoved it in, even just 1 or 2 layers. So that's my receipt. So the RC iMAX B6AC Version 2. Now, yes, there are other ones I could have purchased that would have been a little bit cheaper. All up, I actually spent $60 on this. Now, there is the local electronics store where I bought this from. They charged me, that they've got another unit of this, another brand, but looks like a cheap Chinese knockoff, for $100. And usually these things go for between about $70 and $80, the legitimate ones I could find. So I'd say $60 buying this with a discount coupon on eBay was, yeah. And we now have an empty box. Okay, without remembering anything about how to tell the difference between the real and fake, looking at this one, just in case if anybody's wondering, there's a little latch under here. We have the manual. It's interesting. They're protecting it with a plain sheet of paper and then that plasticky crap. Oh no, only the cover's the plasticky crap. The major thing I don't like about this is a lot of the unboxings I've seen, it doesn't come with a temperature sensor, and to find one locally in Australia has been problematic. So let's check to see what we've got. We have the power cable. I cannot pronounce that name, it's definitely Asian. So that's the AC adapter. It's actually a lot smaller than what I was expecting. So that whole size thing I can use. Here is a classic crystal pen, or Bic. So it's really not that big. So mine came with whatever that is, and I'm going to be using these a lot. That's unfortunate. We have some more here. Ooh, okay, so this one's for the mains. Not mains, sorry, mains would be referring to what you plug into the wall. This is for running it off a battery, moving it off a battery. So I can just simply pop those back in there. Probably not the best way to pack it, but that's better. The unit. Okay. One of the things I've seen online to tell whether or not your unit is real or fake are these vent holes, and they're quite big. Another way to test would be to actually open up the unit and see whether or not there's a polyfuse on these, on the balance socket. So I think I might give that a try right now. Let's see if I can safely open this thing. I need my screwdriver. Okay, so looking at the unit, 4 standard screws on each side. Now, one thing I believe it was, these were the cheap Chinese model used self-tapping. These are definitely not self-tapping screws, which is nice. Wow, this video is going on for a lot longer than I expected. Actually, I won't need to undo that one. Two. I'm really hoping I don't end up butchering this thing. If you've ever lived in Tasmania, we get a bit, our weather can be a bit strange. An example would be, for the last few days it's been raining, but it's also been muggy. However, today the sun finally came out in the afternoon. It was nice and warm, which was good. But I really don't like the weather when it's uncontrollable the way, well, not uncontrollable, but unpredictable. For instance, you wake up in the morning and it's blazing hot, and in the afternoon it's blowing gusts that can send you flying skywards. Although the worst we've had in Tassie have been ones that rip off someone's roof. That's for one that would actually destroy a house, but I don't think we actually get those down here. So I consider myself very lucky. Huh, okay. So one of the first apparent telltale signs is that this is glued on, which this one isn't, so first eye of legitimacy. I don't see a polyfuse on that. The power supply is also supposed to be the full length, so that's sort of a... I can see there's an earth connection coming over onto the case itself. I wonder why they didn't have it on this end. Okay. There's supposed to be a polyfuse over here, but I don't even see a mounting point for it. It's a bit gunky though. I'm not happy about that. Gunk referring to some kind of build up that doesn't look like it should be there. Probably just a failure from the manufacturing process. Okay. And the aluminium here has been tapped, so that's good. So I can just put that back on. Well, no polyfuse, but there was no place for it. So if the part isn't, well, if there's no place for the part to be installed, well, you really can't get a chucky hissy fit about that if it's not there. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like I should get myself some thread locker. It's this gunk that you stick on the tip of your screws before you install them, reinstall or install them. That will hold the screw sort of in place tightly. It's a bit interesting. I'm sort of thinking about getting it myself, but as of yet, I haven't bothered to find any places locally that sell it. Now, honestly, if I could find a place locally that was selling this thing for $70, I most likely would have gone and purchased it from them. But the local battery place, which kind of irritated me. It didn't even have anything like this. While the electronics store, they've had, well, they've got one that's discontinued, which is a previous model to this thing, but not this brand. Now, I unfortunately forgot something else. I'm not going to use the power connector that came with this. Well, the mains one. I've got a battery, a laptop supplied one, which I will go and grab now, just to make sure this thing does turn on. One purchase I made recently, which I really like, is not recently, this was about a year ago. It's a power board with individual switches. I don't know whether or not it's only going to trigger the active or the neutral, but it's nice. So I'll turn that off, plug this in, and I will turn this on. Yeah, that's on. Huh. Let's try that again. Turn off. Hold on a minute. It helps when you have a power board that's plugged in and also has power. LiPo. So let's see what functions we've got here. Battery meter. Nican, lithium, I believe that's going to be lithium ion. So what I can do is I can take this, so just a point of interest, what I'm probably going to do myself is make up a lead where I don't have to use these two connections. I really don't want to break this. This is feeling a bit too fragile. Okay, probably doing that off screen. I'm trying to lock these in together, but there they go. Oh, you need to be careful about that. That red is really not that red. So anyway. Positive, negative. Pen's probably not going to be heavy enough, but my screwdriver should be. So I'm going to take my lithium ion cell. Whoop. That's useful. Lithium ion, enter. Charge, fast charge, storage, discharge, enter. let's do 1/2 amp and let's go start. 3.6. Cells, we've only got one cell. This is when reading the manual helps. Ah, that's why, because I've got it in program mode. So this thing is switching between 3.9 and 3 volts, 4 volts, sorry. So this one's still fully charged. Well, not fully charged, but it's still good. And I'm going to have to find out whether or not that's actually a good thing. Battery resistance. System settings, battery memory, my FET, lithium ion. Okay, so you got to hold the battery down. So this is now discharging the battery. Yeah, okay. If you are doing this, I'll just give you a bit of advice. Make sure you check the temperature of the battery. There is a sensor on this thing, which I mentioned before, but it's difficult to track down one, at least in Australia. Ooh, and I should probably not let that touch. So far it's 5 milliamp hours. Six milliamp hours. So yeah, that's just going to continue going on. I'm going to stop this. Okay, I'm going to stop that now and turn this off. So if someone from the company is there it goes. So someone from the company is watching this. Well, first off, the people that sold this to me, the only recommendation I'd make would be the bubble wrap, just Australia Post. As for the company that produces this device, I don't like the fact that this is the way it's set up. I would much prefer having this lead with the sticking on the end of it for all the sets, but obviously this is something they've decided, something I can remedy myself, and I may end up making my own cables. But yeah, the last thing for me to do is to check to see whether or not this is legitimate, and I'm about to go and do that. And what do we got here? Never use this charger unsupervised. LiPo batteries, blah blah blah. Yep, so your average sort of warnings. Anyway, I am going to go and pause this. And I'm back. So, having gone to the SkyRC website. I punched in the code and it came up saying that yes, the product's legitimate and it had only been tested one time, which is a really useful feature that it mentions the fact that the code has been entered in once. Hold on. So other people can't get their grubby hands on this. So here is the back of my unit again with a little bit of something on the back. This sticker here, just above where the verify skyrc.com is, you've got your code. I entered that in. It felt a little bit stronger than a lot of the other stuff I've scratched off before. This usually comes from serial codes that have been concealed. So I do like the actual stickers themselves. But the verify skyrc.com, yep, that was fine. So as far as I can tell, this is a legitimate unit. It was a hell of a lot less than buying a possibly ripped off version locally for $100. And yeah, I'm actually rather happy. So this place, this hobby warehouse, I'll put their URL into the description of this video. I won't be putting the URL for SkyRC, sorry, their verification. When you get your product, you'll be able to see what that code, that site is, and you can enter it in yourself. But yeah, this is nice. It's And it was also nice to see that accidentally plugging one of these in the wrong way does set the unit to go flip out. As for instance, this unit here, it doesn't actually matter what way you put the batteries in, or the battery in, it will automatically detect it, and it will switch the positive and the negative to whatever setting it has to be, and it's off, which is great. There's 3 prongs at the bottom. Anyway, well, with that, I wasted my money on this, and I am happy that I did. Less likely I'm going to cause a fire, which is pro bono for everything. And the great thing is I can use this charger with the battery that's in this thing to charge it up, versus using a potentially hazardous device. So, as someone who's getting into these, and now I've got this, which I'm very happy with. Oh, that was my unboxing and first impression. Thanks for watching.